It was a story that started with fire and ended with ice-cold questions that have haunted a family, a town, and a nation for decades. Imagine this: Christmas Eve, 1945, Fayetteville, West Virginia. Snow falls outside, and inside, the Sodder family, George, Jenny, and their 10 children, are warm and happy. Until something in the darkness changes everything. The clock ticks past midnight. Christmas Day begins with disaster. What follows is a puzzle with missing pieces, just like the children themselves. The story of the Sodder children is about more than a fire. It's about strange events before, during, and after the flames. It's a ghost story, but the ghosts are not spirits. They are the faces of 5 missing children, lost in the smoke and shadows of that terrible Christmas night. What happened to the children who vanished in the fire? It would leave a mystery that endures to this day. That sometimes the darkest tales are true, one of America's most haunting unsolved mysteries, leaving behind only questions. The real story is what came after. The night was shattered by a phone call around midnight. Jenny Sodder answered. A wrong number, a strange woman's voice. Returning to bed, Jenny noticed the lights were still on, the curtains open, Marion asleep on the couch. She assumed the other children were upstairs. She locked the door, turned off the lights, and tried to sleep. An hour later, a loud thud on the roof woke her. She ignored it. 30 minutes after that, she smelled smoke. The house was on fire. Flames poured from George's office. The house became a death trap. George, Jenny, and 4 children, Marion, Sylvia, John, and George Jr., escaped. The other 5, Morris, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, were trapped upstairs. The staircase was a wall of fire. There was no way up. Outside in the freezing cold, the family watched their home burn, helpless. They screamed for the children, but there was only silence. George ran to get his ladder. It was missing. He tried to move his trucks to climb up, but neither would start. Everything that could go wrong did. Every path to rescue was blocked. The fire raged, unstoppable. The Sodders could only watch as their world burned. The silence was unbearable. The children were gone, vanished in the flames, or so it seemed. The perfect Christmas had become a nightmare. The Sodders' lives would never be the same. The fire was over in 45 minutes, but the questions were just beginning. What really happened that night? The fire department arrived hours too late. The house was gone, reduced to ash and rubble. Christmas morning dawned on devastation. 5 children were missing. The official story: faulty wiring caused the fire, and the children's bodies were cremated. But George and Jenny didn't believe it. Jenny, who had worked at a crematorium, knew a house fire couldn't destroy bones so completely in just 45 minutes. She burned animal bones herself. None ever vanished entirely. No remains, not even a tooth, were found. The family recalled the strange phone call, the thud on the roof, the missing ladder, the trucks that wouldn't start. The ladder was found 75 feet away, tossed down an embankment. Too many coincidences. The pieces didn't fit the official story. The Sodders began to suspect the fire was no accident. It felt planned, deliberate. The fire, they believed, was a cover for something far worse. The authorities closed the case quickly, but the Sodders kept asking questions. Why was there no trace of the children? Why did so many things go wrong at once? The family's search for answers became an obsession. The mystery only deepened as time passed. The Sodders refused to accept the easy explanation. Their grief turned to determination. The ashes held no answers, only more questions. The Sodders' fight for the truth was just beginning. The fire was over, but the nightmare was not. The missing children became a legend. The town whispered about what really happened. The Sodders would not let the world forget. Rumors and strange stories began to surface. A bus driver claimed he saw the Sodder children in a car the night of the fire. A woman at a tourist stop said she served breakfast to 5 children and 4 adults the next morning. The group was hostile, wouldn't let her speak to the kids, and quickly left. These sightings gave the Sodders hope. Maybe the children were alive, taken, not dead. George's outspoken views against Mussolini had made him enemies in the Italian community. Was this revenge? Mafia involvement? Theories multiplied. A repairman revealed the phone line had been cut, not burned. Someone had climbed a pole and severed it. Deliberate sabotage. The evidence pointed to a plan, not an accident. The Sodders felt watched, threatened. The town whispered about the case, blending fact and legend. The line between crime and the supernatural blurred. The Sodders were lost in a maze of fear and suspicion. Every clue led to more questions. The darkness around the case only deepened. The Sodders hired private investigator C.C. Tinsley. Tinsley discovered Fire Chief Morris had secretly buried a heart in a box at the scene. When confronted, Morris dug it up. It was a beef liver, untouched by fire. Was Morris trying to trick the family into giving up? The betrayal deepened the Sodders' mistrust. In 1949, a pathologist excavated the site, finding only a few coins, a dictionary, and some vertebrae. The bones were sent to the Smithsonian. They belonged to someone 23 years old, older than any missing Sodder child. The bones showed no sign of fire and were likely brought in with fill dirt after the blaze. The mystery only grew. Who did the bones belong to? Why was evidence hidden or faked? The Sodders were left with more questions than answers. Every investigation led to a dead end or a new twist. The official story unraveled, but the truth stayed out of reach. The family's search became a crusade. The case grew colder, but the Sodders' determination never faded. The clues formed a tangled web, one that no one could untangle. The mystery of the missing children refused to die. The Sodders pressed on, alone. The Sodders never rebuilt their home. Instead, they created a memorial garden. Jenny wore black for the rest of her life, mourning her lost children. In 1952, the family put up a billboard on Route 16, showing the faces of the 5 missing children and offering a reward. The billboard became a landmark, a symbol of hope and sorrow. Tips and letters poured in from across the country. George chased every lead, traveling to distant states, but each ended in disappointment. The search consumed the family's life and savings. The billboard stood for over 30 years, a silent plea for answers. It was a father's promise, never to stop looking. The world watched, but the mystery endured. The Sodders' hope never faded, even as the years passed. The billboard became a monument to love, loss, and unanswered questions. The family's pain was public, their search relentless. The missing children's faces became part of West Virginia's landscape. The case drew national attention, but no resolution. The Sodders' story became legend. The garden, the billboard, and the family's grief stood as reminders. The search for truth defined their lives. The world moved on, but the Sodders could not. The billboard's message was clear. The mystery was not forgotten. The children's faces watched over the highway, asking for answers. The family's hope outlasted the decades. In 1968, a letter arrived for Jenny Sodder from Kentucky. No return address, just a photo of a young man. He looked strikingly like Louis, who vanished at age 9. On the back, a cryptic note: Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie, lil boys. A 90132 or 35. The family was stunned. Was this Louis grown up? They hired a detective to investigate, but he disappeared, never to be heard from again. The photo was the last real clue the family ever received. George died in 1969, never knowing the truth. Jenny tended her garden until her death in 1989, always waiting. After Jenny's death, the family took down the billboard. The mystery remained unsolved. The photograph haunted the family. A final unanswered question. The Sodders' search ended, but the story did not. The missing children's fate was never discovered. The family's hope faded, but the legend endured. The world moved on, but the questions lingered. The Sodder case became one of America's most enduring mysteries. The photo was a whisper from the unknown. The Sodders' story closed with silence, not answers. The world was left to wonder. Nearly 80 years have passed since that Christmas night. The last Sodder child, Sylvia, is now elderly. The mystery remains unsolved. Was it a tragic fire or a carefully planned crime? Theories abound. Mafia, revenge, kidnapping, illegal adoption, the clues, cut phone line, missing ladder, fake evidence, the mysterious photo, all point away from a simple accident. Silence surrounds the case. From the attic, the authorities, the missing children. If the children survived, why did they never return? The questions have no answers. The Sodder story is a chilling reminder that some mysteries never end. The fire is long out, the billboard gone, but the ghosts of Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty remain. Their faces still ask, what happened to us, and the world still has no answer.